Morning. Now is the time in our service when we turn inward for a time of reflection and shared silence. I'd like you to take a few deep breaths and release any worries, fears, or concerns you may have brought with you this morning. Just let them go with the exhale. Take another deep breath. And be grateful for your lungs, which bring this breath of life to you. Listen to your heartbeat and be grateful for that heart that works for you tirelessly every moment. And listen as I share with you the words of the Indian poet Rabindranath Tagore, who writes a poem called The Stream of Life. The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and death, in ebb and in flow. I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life, and my pride is from the life throb of ages dancing in my blood this moment. Let us take a moment to feel life living through us and all around us.
Charlotte, could you put the mic up a little?
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about life. Okay. I loved Ellie's words, and I love the words of Rabindranath Tagore, whom I discovered when I was in college. Life is something that we overlook a lot. What is what we're talking about today? And not just life, but a zest for life. So good morning on this beautiful July morning. And whether we are at our permanent home on Cooley Road or our temporary home here on Main Street, Canandaigua, it's not the building that we come to see or be with, it's the people, it's each other. There's something very special about this little UUCC community, and I know many of us drive a fair distance every Sunday morning to be together for an hour or two. We come from Geneva, Penn Yan, Hanoi Falls, Victor, Fairport, Batavia, Rochester. We come to be together, and that's the real reason I'm here, you. But I also happen to enjoy my drive. I live in Fairport, and every morning when I come to church, I get on the thruway and take the Canandaigua exit and head down Route 332 south to Farmington Town Line Road. And there I turn right and head out to New Michigan and go down to Cooley. But right there on the corner of 332 and Farmington Town Line Road, there's an Ace hardware store. You may have seen it. Well, I noticed about a month ago that there was a huge display of storage sheds there. And on the side of one storage shed was a huge sign that said, "Make room for life." Wow, that's profound, I thought to myself. Got to be a sermon there somewhere. Of course, I had no plans to write a sermon at that time, so I didn't invest any more time into what the deeper, more profound message might be hidden in the words on the side of the storage shed on Farmington Town Line Road. It was curious, though, the message, "Make room for life." This particular shed was the fanciest one on the lot. It had little windows and even a little front porch. And it looked a lot like the tiny houses that are all the rage these days. But it was clearly a storage shed among all the other storage sheds. And the sign provoked my curiosity every Sunday morning as I turned the corner onto Farmington Town Line Road. So how is that shed supposed to make room for your life? Like, was your life your things? Like your lawnmower, snowblower, bikes, tools, fertilizer, junk, and stuff? Maybe they're thinking a life is made up of things and we need a special place for our things, our life. Or was storing your stuff in a storage shed supposed to declutter your house and your garage, making room for your life in a now decluttered house and garage? This seemed more likely. So where's the sermon idea in all of this? Well, when Kathy asked me if I would like to do a sermon in July on Zest, my mind went immediately back to that sign, "Make room for life." And the question then came into a clearer focus. Make room for life became make room for a life worth living, an authentic life, a life lived consciously with awareness, engaging body, mind, heart, and spirit, a life with purpose. In short, a life with zest. So the next question became, what could I change to make my life more purposeful, more joyful, more zestful? Maybe I did need to declutter my house and garage somewhat. I could give more things to charity. There's a refugee collection center near my home. But even more important than decluttering my house and garage was the need to declutter my mind. I definitely lived too much in my head, out of touch with my body, heart, and soul. My mind is always buzzing with worries, fears, and concerns, plans to get rid of the worries, fears, and concerns. Scolding for not getting rid of the worries, fears, and concerns. Maybe I could make room for a better life by putting all that mental junk in a storage shed. In addition to worries, fears, and concerns, should be the name of my sermon, worries, fears, and concerns. Maybe I should get rid of all of the shoulds populating my mental home. See what I mean? There's a should right there. I spend more time thinking about what I should do than actually doing something. I spend so much time shoulding that I could build a separate storage shed for all the shoulds. I could call it, you ready? A should shed. Well, what else could I put in the storage shed to make room for an authentic life, a rewarding life? What about slowing down? I miss a lot of life's gifts because I'm rushing around focused on the future and not really engaged in the present. Maybe I should just store my need for speed in a storage shed and slow down and savor the here and now. Living in the 21st century information age with the internet and World Wide Web, it's all too easy to get hooked on speed and find your mind full of sensational information which commandeers your attention from the things in life that really matter right here, right now. The poet, Mary Oliver, knows how to make room for life, and she knows how to slow down and savor it, as she describes in her poem, The Summer Day, a poem I think many of you have heard and will recognize. It goes like this. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who's moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who's gazing around with her enormous, complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious soul? Well, Mary Oliver is such a good life teacher. She tells us why she slows down and why she pays attention and challenges us to do the same. Why? Because life doesn't last for everything forever. Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Mary Oliver reminds me of another teacher who can show us how to make room for life, a creative and purposeful, productive life. This teacher is a Japanese artist named Hokusai. Hokusai lived from the mid-18th century to the mid-19th century and was a famous printmaker and a prolific painter, famous not only in Japan but overseas, and to this day. You've probably seen one of his prints. If you can picture in your mind this huge wave, if you can picture that, you've seen one of Hokusai's works. Well, he began drawing at the age of 6 years, and on his deathbed, and he created some 30,000 works of art, did I say that? He began drawing at the age of 6 years, and on his deathbed, at 87, he said, "If only heaven will give me just another 10 years, just another 5 more, then I could become a real painter." Art historian and art curator Roger Keyes, who spent much of his life studying Hokusai's paintings, wrote a poem which attempts to translate the message of Hokusai's life and work into words. It's a popular poem, often read in Buddhist retreat centers, and it's called Hokusai Says. Hokusai says, "Get a drink of water." Hokusai says, look carefully. He says, pay attention. Notice. He says, keep looking. stay curious. He says there is no end to seeing. He says, look forward to getting old. He says, keep changing. You just get more who you really are. He says, get stuck. Accept it. Repeat yourself as long as it is interesting. He says, keep doing what you love. He says, keep praying. He says, every one of us is a child. Every one of us is ancient. Every one of us has a body. He says, every one of us is frightened. He says, every one of us has to find a way to live with fear. He says, everything is alive. Shells, buildings, people, fish, mountains, trees. Wood is alive. Water is alive. Everything has its own life. Everything lives inside us. He says, live with the world inside you. He says it doesn't matter if you draw or write books. It doesn't matter if you saw wood or catch fish. It doesn't matter if you sit at home and stare at the ants on your veranda or the shadows of the trees and grasses in your garden. It matters that you care. It matters that you feel. It matters that you notice. It matters that life lives through you. Contentment is life living through you. Joy is life living through you. Satisfaction and strength is life living through you. He says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Love, feel. Let life take you by the hand. Let life live through you. Make room for life, the thrill of life itself. So if we could get rid of all the mental clutter, the fears, worries, concerns, throw a few more of the shoulds in the should shed. If we could just slow down a bit, be here now, fully present, engaged with all of our senses, like poet Mary Oliver and artist Hope Asai, I'm pretty sure our life would be richer, more pleasurable, more interesting, and yes, more zestful. One final thought about creating a rewarding life. I believe it is absolutely necessary for us to include gratitude into our daily protocol. Yes, we can declutter and simplify our lives. We can slow down and take time to see the miracles around us, like Mary Oliver's grasshopper, like Hokusai's ants on the veranda, or the wisdom written on the side of the storage shed on the corner of Farmington Calhoun Road. But then, it is essential that we acknowledge the gift of life itself, of which we are a part, and say, thank you. Thank you. Why? Because gratitude is a high vibration energy, very similar to love, which is the highest energy vibration of all. When we feel gratitude, we attract more high energy things into our life, like Zest, which in my experience is simply energy focused on a purpose. I'd like to close now with my own version of the first verse of Simon & Garfunkel's 59th Street Bridge, also known as Feeling Groovy. After I sing it through once, maybe you'd like to join me for a second time. Okay, let's hope this works. Slow down, you're moving too fast. Make room for life, 'cause life doesn't last forever. See something new every day. Hey, attitude of gratitude is the only way. La 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 la. Feeling groovy. La 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 la. Ready? Slow down, you move too fast. Make room for life, 'cause life doesn't last forever. See something new every day. That attitude Sorry about the key. I didn't know what key I was going to do. Yes, I was just hoping and praying it was really in my brain. Thanks for you brave souls that try to join me. So, I've been singing that song in the car for like weeks now. Let's say, so what can we do to make sure that we're making room for life, an authentic, pleasurable, interesting, ever-evolving, intentional life? Easy to get into ruts and routines and miss the magic of your life unfolding. So easy to get wrapped up in material things and get distracted by negative self-talk. So easy to get sucked into the virtual realities of our omnipresent phones, tablets, and computers. So I designed a little test I take whenever life loses its zest. And I call it the Zest test. That's a laughter cue. A Zest test, which is just 4 questions. Are you moving too fast? Slow down. Slow down enough to engage with the world around you and inside you. 2, are you using that storage shed to get rid of things that don't serve your one wild and precious life? 3, do you really see something new every day? 4, are you grateful? Do you say thank you for the beauty all around you and all the things that are going right in your life? We all have the capacity to love, feel, and to let life take us by the hand and live through us. We all have the capacity to make room for life. May it be so.
Closing hymn, it's number 21 in the gray hymnal. join me in the extinguishing of our chalice?
We
Extinguish this flame,
not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Go in Zest.
All right. Those words were perfect. Weren't they?
Yeah.
Join us for worship every Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua, a welcoming congregation. We are located at 3024 Cooley Road, 4 miles west of South Main Street, Canandaigua, just north of the intersection with Routes 5 and 20. Look for the blue signs just before the turn. Your comments about this program or questions about the church are welcome at 585-396-1370 or at our website, www.canandaiguauu.org. Producer and editor, Daniel Brigham.